Welcome back to the channel. This is Trinity Storm and you are watching fourth part of What If Naruto Was the Saiyan of Unknown Breed. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Now wasting no more time, let's start the story.
Universe 7. A little Pan laughed as her grandma held her up in the air. Great grandma, if you want to get specific. Jine gushed, you're so cute. Vidal and Chi-Chi were happy to see that their granddaughter was having a good time with her grandmother. Vidal said, Pan seems to really like Jine. Chi-Chi smiles and nods. Yes, she does, Vidal said, but the smile had turned into a frown. She asked her mother-in-law, are you worried about Goku? Her answer was a small nod. She said with worry, Bulma told me that he was in bad shape when he and Vegeta came back. Vidal's husband told her that his father and Vegeta had lost and had to run away because of it. Jine told them not to worry while she was still playing with Pan. She told her daughter-in-law that as long as Naruto and Bardock were there, everything would be fine. I'm sure that right now, everything is fine. Sometime in the future. Broly kept screaming as his power grew quickly. This pushed the Saiyans and Zamasu back. Where the hell did you find this guy? Vegeta asked as he covered his face to keep from being blown away. Goku also covered his face and said, this is unbelievable. Naruto knew Broly was strong, but he never thought he would be this strong. The angry Super Saiyan locked his eyes on the false god, making him jerk back and even start to sweat. How is this possible? This kind of power shouldn't belong to a normal person. Broly yelled as he used the energy he had just released to make a giant green sphere in which he could fit. He yelled and sent out a barrage of green ki blasts. Everyone had spread out and was either avoiding attacks or sending them in a different direction. Goku and Bardock were knocking away each ki that was coming at them. Trunks and Vegeta were both dodging and firing back with their own attacks. Naruto used his staff to knock each of them away by spinning it around. Zamasu was barely able to avoid the attacks, but before he knew it, Broly was in front of him and punched him in the face with such force that it broke his bones. The Saiyan kept attacking with big moves to the left and right. He then grabbed the face of the immortal with his huge hand and threw him through a lot of buildings. The guys watched as the guy who used to be a Grand Kai apprentice got beat up. The group stood still until Naruto coughed. Well, I didn't expect that. Trunks was scared and asked, who is that guy? He had never felt this kind of power before. It was stronger than Goku and his father, and even Zamasu couldn't beat it. Broly, he was an exiled Saiyan because he was so strong as a baby, Naruto told them, shocking everyone except Bardock, who already knew this. When they saw the explosion, Zamasu flew out of the building that had just collapsed and crashed through the streets, skidding heavily. Broly came out and stomped his foot on the chest of the immortal, making a spiderweb-shaped crack. Zamasu spit out blood as the Super Saiyan continued to push him deeper into the ground. He raised his right arm and tried to punch the immortal, but the immortal hit him in the eyes with a ki attack. It hurt a little, but Broly shook it off and sent the kai into a building, which fell on top of him right away. It didn't take long before Broly broke through the rubble and let loose a barrage of ki blasts that destroyed many more buildings and other things. We need to get him to stop before things get worse, Trunks said. Naruto said, it won't be easy, and then he used MSSJ-2 to fly towards the angry Super Saiyan. Broly, he said, which made him turn around. It's me, Naruto. Remember that I'm your friend. Broly flew forward and threw a huge punch that Naruto blocked, but the force of it still sent him flying through the streets and into the front of a car. He muttered, it makes sense that wouldn't work, and then he got up from the dented hood. When he looked up and saw the Super Saiyan coming at him, he jumped out of the way of a kick that destroyed the vehicle. He started blocking punches and countering with his own. A solid punch to Broly's face pushed him back a little, but Naruto wasn't done yet, so he gave a series of kicks. But Broly caught them, lifted him up, and slammed him hard on the ground, making a small crater. Naruto spit up saliva and was dragged across the ground. The same attacks were used over and over again. The majestic Saiyan was able to get out of the grip and hit the guy in the chin with a backflip kick. Still not stopping, Naruto made a dozen copies of ki to keep Broly busy. When he turned around, he saw that the others were fighting Zamasu, who now had a monster face that was half purple along with the rest of his body. He didn't get to help because he was knocked out when he hit the side of his head and crashed into a building. Broly looked at the other fighters and growled at them before going after them as well. Saying, Kamehameha. Guns away. Javelin riot. Vegeta, Goku, and Bardock all fired their most powerful attacks at the Immortal. The attack ate up the Immortal and smoke filled the area. Trunks asked, "Did that work?" When the smoke cleared, the Saiyans were shocked to see that Zamasu was still alive even though half of his body was gone. After being healed, the right arm and half of the face were now a horrible shade of purple. He laughed, then laughed like a madman. "As I told you before, you fools, I'm immortal and I can't." He was cut off and knocked through several pillars before falling into a huge crater. Broly looked at the three of them and opened his mouth, which made his attack stronger. The guys knew what was coming, so they quickly made their signature moves stronger. Gaelic, Kamehameha. Riot. The Super Saiyan with a lot of muscle yelled and blasted his attack at them. Gun. Ha. The Javelin. When the two attacks came together, they hit Broly's, which he had redirected into the air. This made a loud boom and a blast of wind. Just when they were getting better, Broly came out of nowhere and kicked Bardock into a building. He then back fist punched Vegeta into the streets. Trunks ran at Broly, but he was easily swatted away like a fly. Goku ran at him and hit him with a hard punch to the chest that rang out. It didn't work, so Broly grabbed him by the throat and gave him several headbutts. Then he gave him one last hard one, which sent the Saiyan who was born on Earth crashing through cars. If he hadn't gotten his balance back, he would have taken more damage. He looked to see if Broly was still getting stronger. This guy is really strong. Even when I'm Super Saiyan Blue, he can still push me and Vegeta back like nothing. A groan broke him out of his thoughts, and he turned to see Naruto rising from the rubble of the destroyed building. "Remind me never to make Broly mad," said the majestic Saiyan, standing up and shaking his head. "Are you okay, Naruto?" Goku asked. "He agrees." "Yeah, but man, he can pack a punch," he said, rubbing his bruised face. When they had to dodge ki blasts, they quickly stopped talking. Both of them kept flying around to avoid each other's blasts. When the other's blast hit them, it caused an explosion and filled the air with smoke. When they were ready, the two got into their stances. Then, Broly came through with insane speed and clotheslined them both. Goku ran into a car, and Naruto skidded through the streets. Both people are able to get back on their feet. Naruto's whole body hurts, and he looked at Goku, who seemed to be in the same situation. The warrior in orange pulled some senzu beans out of his pocket. He called out, "Naruto, catch!" and threw them while he ate two himself. Naruto caught the beans and ate them. As soon as he did, the pain in his body went away. He asked Goku, "Where's Trunks and Vegeta?" Goku focused and found their ki. He also felt a bad one, which was probably Zamasu. "Not good," said Goku. "It looks like Vegeta and Trunks are busy with Zamasu." Naruto was thinking about what to do. Majestic Super Saiyan 4 would push Broly back, but it wouldn't be enough to keep him down. This was getting frustrating. The name, Naruto. He heard the voice of Kurama. "Sorry, Kurama, if I woke you up at the wrong time." "Forget that," Kurama said. "I've been awake since that Broly guy turned into a Super Saiyan, as you say." Naruto said, "Then I guess you know we're in trouble." "No matter how strong you are, you won't be able to stop this guy," Kurama said. "I hate to say it, but I don't think even going into Biju mode will help." "Damn, there's only one choice. I'll have to try to use that power, but even with Kaguya's help, I haven't mastered it yet." "It's not like you have a choice, but your Goku friend will have to distract him." "Goku, I think I may know how to push Broly back, but I'll need you to distract him. Do you think you can do that?" Naruto asked. Before Goku could answer, Broly was sent flying by a blue ball of energy that passed between them. When they turned around to look at Bardock, he had his arm out from his attack. Bardock turned Super Saiyan and flew away. Goku said, "Good luck, Naruto," and his fellow Saiyan nodded. He warned, "I should be telling you that, so be careful." Goku nodded and got stronger before joining his father. Once he saw the Saiyan far away, he took a deep breath and said, "Alright, here goes nothing." He clenched his fist and started to call on his Ki, but he didn't stop there. Instead, he kept getting stronger. Vegeta fell back, but he was still on his feet. Trunks threw a series of kicks, but Zamasu dodged them like they were nothing. He stopped it with his huge arm and gave the Saiyan hybrid a kick of his own, sending him flying. Luckily, his father caught him before he hit the ground. Trunks was tired, so he asked, "Where are the others?" His question was answered when they saw three figures shooting ki blasts at each other. It turned out that Bardock and Goku were shooting at Broly, who took the attacks like they were nothing and fired his own, making Bardock and Goku move all over the place. Vegeta shook his head and said, "It looks like Kakarot and his father are busy with that Saiyan. If the Gaki is not with them, he must be doing something useful." "It looks like your plan didn't work out," the former Kai said. "It's a shame that so much power was wasted on a savage human being. For now, I'll take care of him." He gave an evil grin and went back to attack the father and son. Both Bardock and Goku went for the front attack, which was risky, but because they worked together, they were able to get close to Broly and then kick him away. When he got mad and frustrated, he yelled and turned up the power. The planet began to shake. Bardock cursed, "Damn it, now he's getting stronger." Goku could feel Broly's ki getting 10 times stronger. A shout got his attention, and he saw Vegeta fighting Zamasu, but he saw that the immortal was playing with him. When he heard his father say, "Kakarot, go help Vegeta," he looked at him with a surprised face. "I don't think he'll last long, but I'll take care of this," Bardock said. Goku looked at Broly, who was still getting stronger, and then he looked at Zamasu, who had just sent Vegeta flying through the streets. Goku looked at his dad and nodded. He flew toward the Saiyan prince and said, "Okay. Good luck, Dad." He gave a small smile as he watched his son fly away to help. From the day he remembered sending Kakarot to Earth until now, he couldn't help but feel proud of his son. Not only had he become a Super Saiyan, but he now had power that could match that of a god. He looked at the big Super Saiyan, who had just finished getting stronger, and flew to him. The Saiyan veteran put his arms up in a guard and powered up, but he didn't stop and felt like he could keep going. Broly was about halfway there. Bardock thought about his wife and son, and he was angry that he couldn't help. As he changed without knowing it, his ki began to get stronger. Broly was about to punch when ki exploded from Bardock out of nowhere. When Broly yelled, the angry Super Saiyan was sent back. The light went out, revealing Bardock, who was now surrounded by a yellow flame like ki and crackling electricity. His hair was now spikier and his bangs were a little longer in the front. The muscles on his body and arms had grown a little, which made him look more powerful. He opened his eyes and could feel his new power. Super Saiyan 2. He didn't have time to admire his change, but now was the best time to try it out. He charged at Broly, who did the same thing, and their fists hit each other, sending a shockwave through the air. Naruto, who was now a majestic Super Saiyan 3, was surrounded by electricity, and his ki could be seen. He clenched his teeth in anger. He could feel that Bardock's ki had grown stronger. He could feel Goku and Vegeta's ki fighting a dark one, which was Zamasu. "Don't worry, guys, just wait a little longer," he said. The white ki and chakra then started to turn a bright orange color and swirl around him, encasing him in an orange ki orb. Goku and Vegeta were punching and kicking Zamasu in many different places. Goku attacked with a flurry of jabs and then a right hook that knocked the Kai's head to the side. He then tried to hit him with a scorpion kick, but it was blocked. However, Vegeta's flurry of punches, which were followed by a knee to the gut that made the Kai spit out saliva, and an uppercut to the chin sent him flying into the air. Zamasu flew up high, but then he stopped. He was angry and yelled, "How dare you defy a god?" He then made a big ki ball and was about to blast it. Goku came up behind him and elbowed him in the back. After a series of lightning-fast punches and a double axe handle, Zamasu fell to the ground. Unfortunately for Zamasu, Vegeta came up behind him and gave him a devastating punch to the gut that almost went all the way through. Zamasu gasped in pain, and before he knew it, he was kicked in the chin, which sent him flying high into the air. Seeing his chance, he and Goku, who had just appeared next to him, both used their signature moves. Kamehameha. Gaelic. Ha. Gun. The two powerful signatures were shot at the immortal, who could see what was going to happen. The two Saiyans didn't know what to make of the former Kai apprentice's cocky smile. "You humans will never learn that you can't beat a god," he laughed as he started to grow bigger and bigger. He pushed away their signature attacks, which scared them, and then used that to his advantage by firing a series of huge ki blasts. Goku and Vegeta were flying around, dodging or knocking each other out of the way. As the battle went on, Trunks took cover. When he turned around, he saw someone he knew under some broken concrete. "My!" He yelled and ran over to help her. He put his hand on her neck and didn't feel a pulse. This scared him, but it went away when he did find one. It was weak, but she was still alive. He took a senzu bean out of his pocket that his mom had given him. Trunks pulled her close to him and whispered, "My, if you can hear me, chew and eat this." Even though she was barely awake, she opened her mouth, chewed the senzu bean, and then swallowed it. 30 seconds later, she started to moan and wake up. When she opened her eyes, she saw the teen Saiyan hybrid with blue hair looking relieved. "Trunks?" she asked in a confused way, and she blushed because they were so close. He picked her up in a wedding car. "Come on. Let's get you to safety," Trunks said, and he flew her away from danger. Bardock was getting better at avoiding Broly's attacks, which were getting faster, and he fought back with his own. The two of them kept trading blows, but neither of them gave up. Each blow Broly threw at the veteran Saiyan got harder, which was bad for him. He got hit by a fast right hook that he didn't have time to block. He crashed into a building. Broly rushed in and hit the man with big punches to the body. Each hit made the man spit blood. The Super Saiyan's hand formed a ball of green ki, and just as he was about to slam it, the Saiyan father used what little strength he had left to break through the wall and form his signature ki. He then slammed it into the Super Saiyan's chest, sending him flying. Bardock landed on a building and dropped to his knees, breathing hard. Even with this new transformation and power, it's still not enough, he thought. Then he heard a rumble and saw a green light shine through the rubble, which had exploded with power and revealed Broly to be unharmed. "I hope you know what you're doing, kid," said Bardock as he stood up and used his power to fly towards the Super Saiyan. The Super Saiyan did the same thing and they collided. Naruto was in an orange ki orb that had a small crack in it. As Zamasu kept attacking both men, a powerful energy washed over him, making him lose his concentration. The Saiyans then kicked him twice in the face and punched him several times, sending him back. Vegeta and Goku were standing next to each other when all of a sudden, they both felt a godlike energy that felt like their Super Saiyan Blue. They saw that the Saiyan veteran was still in Super Saiyan 2 form, so it couldn't be Bardock. Trunks was hiding, so who was it? Goku told the Saiyan Prince, "It's Naruto." The Saiyan Prince was shocked. Vegeta said in shock, "This energy is the same as our god forms." Up in the air, Zamasu was getting tired of playing games with these ordinary people. What worried him a little was the godly energy he felt a few seconds ago. Then he thought of Naruto. He clenched his fist in anger and said, "So even this Saiyan has the power of a god." Before the blue Saiyans attacked from the front, they felt another energy coming from below, which made them look down and see Gowasu and Shin. Goku called out, "Hey, Shin, Gowasu." And he and Vegeta flew over to them. "Goku, Vegeta, it's a good thing we found you. Bulma told us where you were," Shin said. Gowasu looked up and was shocked to see his former student in such a bad way. He was so angry and full of hate. "Why, Zamasu, would you go so far as to kill the gods of destruction and mess up the flow of time?" he asked. Zamasu looked down at his former master and laughed in a mean way. This made the Grand Kai feel cold all over. "Oh, Gowasu, you were always such a fool. When I mastered my powers, I should have killed you a lot sooner. I had hoped you would share my hatred for humans, but a fool will always be a fool." Gowasu hung his head in shame because he felt he had let Zamasu down. Goku and Vegeta each took a position. Shin threw something at them and said, "Guys." They caught it and saw that it was the Patara earrings. Shin said, "Since Zamasu is fused, why not even the odds? Don't worry about being it forever. We wanted Purunga to limit it to an hour." Goku nodded and looked at the Patara. He asked the Saiyan Prince, "What do you say, Vegeta?" With a smile. Vegeta didn't like the idea of having to fuse again, but he knew they had no other choice. He said, "Fine, but this is the last time." Goku put the Patara on his left ear, and Vegeta put his on his right. As soon as the two Saiyans' bodies moved toward each other, a bright beam of light shot into the air and pushed Zamasu back. When the light went out, the now fused warrior could be seen. "Soy Vegito." Zamasu asked, "Who are you?" "We're a merge fighter, a combination of Vegeta and Kakarot. We're Vegito." He yelled at the end, turning into a Super Saiyan God Blue and charging at Zamasu. Zamasu fired a big ball of Ki, which exploded when it hit him, but to the immortal's surprise, it didn't hurt him. He was then punched hard and given a spin-back kick to the face, sending him away. "Come on, is that all you've got?" Vegito teased and made a gesture that meant, "Bring it," which made the false god angry. He charged, and the two fought. Bardock landed on the ground on his feet, but his armor was broken, his left pant leg was torn in half, and he was bleeding a little from the head. When he looked up, Broly was firing another round of Ki, so he flew towards them while avoiding them. Once he was close enough, he gathered Ki in his right fist and slammed it into the Super Saiyan's stomach. This sent out a Ki wave that sent the Super Saiyan flying into two buildings and destroying them. Bardock's transformation stopped and he went back to being a regular Super Saiyan. He quietly cursed as he felt his new power draining away. He knew that last attack wouldn't be enough to stop Broly. He heard a fight and saw Zamasu fighting a man, but he felt like he had seen the man before. The answer to the question would come later, but not yet. He could feel Broly's power rising, and he could see where he had fallen as the ground exploded and roared in anger. Bardock let out a tired sigh. He knew he wouldn't be able to keep going much longer, but that didn't mean he was going to stop. "I hope you're almost ready, kid," he said. Then he powered up, took off, and led Broly away. He fired Ki blasts at the Berserker Saiyan, but they didn't work because the Saiyan blocked them with a green aura shield. Before they met again, both had flown around. Inside the orange sphere, Naruto was floating in the lotus position as a surge of energy swirled around him. Kurama was looking at the scene inside the mindscape. He thought about the day he met his partner for the first time. He thought Naruto was just a power-hungry human bug, but as time went on, he started to see changes in Naruto. When he found out he was Saiyan, he was even more determined to get stronger, and just when he thought he had reached his limit, he surprised him by going even further. "You have earned my respect, Naruto Uzumaki. You are the first human I can call not only a partner but also a friend. You have shown me that not all humans are corrupted. Even the power of a god did not change you. Now show that asshole fake god the power of Naruto Uzumaki." Kurama roared his name. As if he heard him, Naruto's eyes shot open and he yelled as the energy around him started to cover his body. The cracks in the orange sphere got a lot worse. Vegito hit Zamasu in the face with a right hook and a spin-back kick. Zamasu fought back by swinging his huge arm and sending a wind-like blade gust at the Saiyan, who dodged it and then tried to kick him but was blocked. When he saw an opening, he grabbed the back of the Kai's head and flew fast, grinding it against each building before rushing down and slamming him hard into a crater. "Not so tough, are you?" Vegito made fun of him, and he would have kept going if he hadn't seen Zamasu's eye glow and been thrown back by the Ki energy exploding. After both fighters got back on their feet, they charged again and hit each other with their first blows, making a big shockwave. Zamasu dodged an attack and hit Vegito in the gut with his huge fist, making him cough. He also hit him in the face, which made him roll across the battlefield. The corrupt immortal walked over with his left arm forming a keyblade. He was about to end it when he felt a sharp pain and saw Vegito form a tall, yellow key-like blade and smile. There are other people who can do that, too. Zamasu grabbed the blade and covered it with his own energy, making Vegito drop the attack as it exploded. He said, "I'll kill you all," and charged at Vegito, who did the same thing. Both of them turned up their ki and took the fight into the air, where they hit each other over and over again. Zamasu was pushed away by an elbow to the throat and a knee to the chest. Vegito went into a stance and said, "It's time to end this." He cupped his hands back and made a blue-yellow mix of ki energy. He yelled, "Final Kamehameha," and fired a huge blue ki wave with yellow twists straight at the god. The attack ate up the god and destroyed a large part of the city. Vegito's eyes grew narrow as he looked at the smoke. Soon, the Kai jumped out of the smoke without a scratch. This made him laugh. "You humans don't get it, you can't kill me." The Saiyan-fused warrior came out, and his right hand was lit up blue. "Die!" he yelled. Unfortunately, Goku and Vegeta split up before the punch connected. "Oh no, the time limit is up," Shin said in worry. Before the two warriors could figure out what was going on, they were hit hard and knocked down. Both of them tried to get back up, but they couldn't. It looked like that last attack had taken a lot out of them. "Goku, Dad!" they called out, and Trunks ran to help them. The young Saiyan looked up at the immortal in anger. "Now is the time to send you all to hell," he said. He made a big ki ball and was about to fire it, but a strong presence stopped him. When they looked up, the Saiyan saw an orange sphere. Goku asked, "What's that?" The father and son had never seen anything like this before, so they didn't know what to say. When Zamasu saw this, he didn't wait and just fired his attack at the sphere, which was destroyed. But, to the Kai's surprise, an orange light began to come out of it. The attack blew up a few seconds later, making a loud noise and a bright light that blinded everyone. Broly threw Bardock through building after building, then swung him around and threw him down hard, making a crater as he hit the ground. The Super Saiyan who had been fighting for a long time fell and knew he had reached his limit. When he looked up, Broly had opened his hand and made a key ball that was getting bigger by the second. He was in a lot of pain and had no energy left. He knew what was going to happen and couldn't get away from it. He couldn't do anything, so he closed his eyes and gave up. Before anything else happened, the planet shook and a loud cry could be heard. Broly stopped his attacks halfway through when he saw the energy light and flew toward it. Bardock sighed, and as soon as the Super Saiyan left, he felt himself falling asleep. "Go get him, kid," was the last thing he thought before he passed out. OST theme from Super Saiyan Blue. After the bright energy light went out, a figure slowly floated up into the air, surrounded by bright orange solid energy that began to break apart slowly. When it turned out to be the god apprentice Naruto Uzumaki, who was now different, the Saiyans were shocked. He was a little bit thinner, and his muscles were more defined. His hair, tail, and eyebrows took on the look of a majestic SSJ, but they were now orange with a hint of white. His aura was the same color, but the orange was a little brighter and small sparks of energy moved up through it. White electricity crackled around him as he slowly opened his eyes, revealing his orange iris. The Saiyans and Kais couldn't believe what they saw. Goku talked. He asked his Saiyan friend, "Whoa, do you feel that, Vegeta?" Vegeta's face was serious as he said, "It feels just like your Super Saiyan God form, but at the same time it feels like our Super Saiyan God Blue." His fist clenched unconsciously. OST ends at 101. Naruto floated down to the group and landed in front of them. He told them, "Hey, guys. Sorry I was so long, but this change took a lot more work than I thought it would." Goku laughed a little. The orange-clad Saiyan told him, "Don't worry about that. Your power blows me away." Naruto would have said something if he hadn't been hit in the side of the head by a huge monster fist. The others fell back, but Naruto was still standing, unfazed by the cheap shot. He turned his head just a little and grabbed Zamasu's monster arm, which he burned up with his energy. The fake god cried out in pain, but a flying kick to the mouth shut him up and made him fall. The speed that was shown surprised everyone. "Amazing, I can't believe how fast he is," Trunks said in shock. Gowasu said, "I never would have thought that a human being could reach such a deity level with this energy." Shin nodded to agree. Naruto was hovering in the air when he felt a huge ki coming at him quickly. It was Broly, he knew. When he turns around, he sees the ripped Super Saiyan flying toward him. He opened his hand and made a huge ki Rasengan in the same bright orange color. As soon as Broly got close, he went away in a flash of orange light. Broly looked everywhere, but the Shinobi Saiyan came out of nowhere from behind and slammed the attack into Broly's back. The attack exploded into a wave of energy that sent the Super Saiyan crashing hard. Again, everyone was surprised by the show of strength. Shin was shocked. "I can't believe it, but every time he attacks, his energy gets stronger." Naruto turned around and saw Zamasu with new weapons and a pinkish-purple glow coming from him. Die. He fired a whole bunch of big ki blasts. He didn't try to avoid them. Instead, he flew toward them. Trunks asked, "What's he doing? Why isn't he avoiding them?" But no one could answer because everyone was too focused on the fight. Naruto's aura got even stronger, and when he was only a few feet away from the attacks, he knocked them all into the air, where they blew up. Zamasu was angry about this, so he made a huge pink keyblade. Naruto also made a keyblade, but his was a little bigger and orange. As the two fighters fought, sparks of ki flew around them, but neither of them gave up. Zamasu couldn't keep up with Naruto's speed, so he didn't have time to block a slash that went through his blade and cut off his arm. This shocked Kai, who had been corrupted, and all of a sudden he felt cuts all over his body. When the others saw Naruto cut off both of Zamasu's legs and arms, they were shocked. After the jerk killed Goku's future wife and son, it was the first time Goku didn't feel bad about him. The same could happen to Vegeta after Black told him that his future wife had died. Naruto stuck the blade through the god's heart and threw him in front of the group. The orange Saiyan god had a hard, cold look on his face as he looked down. "Even if you're immortal, you won't make it through this," he said, opening his hand to form a Rasengan that was purple-black instead of bright orange. Zamasu was scared for the first time in his life. He tried to regenerate, but he couldn't, which scared him a lot. Naruto shouted at the end and slammed the orb into the body, which was starting to twist and disappear. Zamasu let out one last scream as he slowly stopped being. Naruto looked around to see if the person who was said to be immortal was still alive. Zamasu was gone for good after a minute of not feeling anything. Goku, who was also looking, asked Vegeta, "I don't feel Zamasu's energy anymore. How about you?" Vegeta and Trunks tried to find something but couldn't. Trunks said, "He did it, Zamasu is gone for good." He let out a happy sigh. Now it's all over. Naruto didn't say anything and just looked in the right direction. "Not yet," he said, which made Trunks and the Grand Kais confused. But when they felt a shake, they knew what was going on. Far away, a piece of ground exploded and floated up. It turned out to be Broly, who yelled loudly and let out so much green ki that it destroyed his armor. Goku muttered. "Oh, right, I forgot about him," Vegeta said with a clenched jaw. He didn't know how long his form would last, but he hoped it would be long enough. "I'm going to lead Broly away, you guys get out of here, and Goku, I can feel your father's energy, but it's low." Goku moved quickly, and as soon as he found the energy, he used instant transmission to disappear. He then reappeared with his father on his back, fireman style. When Broly was done getting stronger, Naruto used his ki to make a flash and flew away with the Super Saiyan. Naruto turned around when he was in the middle of nowhere and saw Broly not too far away. He spread his arms and yelled as his aura got stronger and he flew towards the Saiyan. Both warriors slammed their fists into each other, making a sonic boom and shockwave that broke up the ground below. The real fight has begun. Naruto flew at supersonic speed, leaving an orange aura trail, and narrowly avoided a volley of green ki blasts that lit up the sky and destroyed many large cliffs and boulders, leaving the area in ruins. For the next 10 seconds, Naruto kept doing this as he led the Super Saiyan farther away. As a barrage of energy blasts hit the wasteland, there were a lot of explosions. He flew down between a gap that Broly followed and kept shooting through. Naruto came out of the smoke out of the gap without getting hurt, but he was still chased. He turned around and hit each attack away with a slap. He said, "My turn." He made a X with his arms and yelled as the energy around him grew bigger and stronger. Naruto's white aura now blended with his orange aura, and his hair still looked the same but now had white highlights. Broly landed a punch that sent the majestic Saiyan god away, but Naruto didn't pay attention to it. Instead, he shot at Broly and landed a punch of his own, sending the Super Saiyan away. He got up quickly and sped back to where they were fighting. They both hit each other hard, making a loud shockwave. Broly threw a right, but it was blocked by a forearm and hit by an uppercut, but he got up and kept fighting. Naruto attacked with a flurry of kicks to the left and right, followed by a spinning back kick that sent Broly flying back. Not satisfied, he rushed forward, and just as a punch was coming at him, he turned it away and hit the Saiyan with an elbow and knee, knocking him out. He didn't have time to get up because he was hit in the side of the head with a fast, hard kick that sent him flying into the pile of rocks. Still not done, he waved his hands and made 9 huge Rasengans that were the same color as his duo aura. He yelled as he shot them down, which made them more. When Broly stood up, he saw that ki Rasengans were raining down and eating him. He cried as he was hit over and over again. As the attacks came at him, a green orb formed around him and exploded, stopping them. He ran fast toward Naruto, who disappeared as the others appeared and disappeared all over the battlefield. Both warriors had blocked each other's blows, but Naruto hit Broly with a right kick. In response, Broly hit Naruto with a punch, knocking him back as they sped up. He tried to kick him, but the majestic Saiyan disappeared and came up behind him with a knee to the back, sending him flying back. Naruto saw Broly making a ball of Ki, so he got into his stance and started gathering his divine ki for his signature attack. After 3 seconds, both warriors fired their blasts, which collided to make a huge ball that swallowed them both and blinded the battleground. With the rest. As soon as Goku put his father in the time machine, he started to wake up. "Good to see you." He said this and took out a senzu bean, which he gave to his father. His father chewed it and ate it. After a few seconds, Bardock felt his energy come back and his wounds heal. Wow, that stuff does really work. As soon as Trunks put Mai in the time machine, they saw a big ball of energy from a long way away. This caught their attention. Naruto seems to be getting serious now. Goku said, "The majestic Saiyan's god ki is getting stronger. We have to do something to help him." Trunks insisted, but his dad told him no. No. This is a fight between boys, and our help wouldn't make a difference. Vegeta agreed. But, Dad. Trunk was angry until. Trunks, your dad is right. Goku spoke in a tone that was rarely serious, which caught the attention of the future hybrids. We still couldn't beat Zamasu, even with Vegito, but Naruto did it easily. Don't forget how easy it was for Broly to beat Black, even when he fused with Zamasu. I hate to say it, but we won't be able to beat him, not even with our Super Saiyan Blue. When facts were too true, Trunks couldn't argue with them. Take my dad back to the others and tell them what's going on. Vegeta and I will stay in case things go wrong. What did Goku say? Trunks hasn't run away from a fight since he met Black, but when he saw his father give him a firm nod, he knew what to do. Getting in the time machine and punching in the coordinates. Bardock turned to look at his son. Return alive. He told Goku, who smiled and nodded. The two got in the time machine, turned it on, and took off. When Goku and Vegeta saw that the three had left, they flew toward the battle. Back to the fight. When the light went out, there was a huge crater where the Saiyans had been. But a big earthquake shook the desert, and both warriors shot out of the ground. Naruto's GI was scratched up and had a small tear in it. Broly's armor was broken and had a dent in it. Again, they fought with each other. On defense, Naruto dodged each of the attacks. Then, he went on the attack and landed a series of quick punches to the chest, with the last one getting a boost from ki. Broly was shot through the wasteland. He hit a lot of rocks and slid across the ground, but he managed to keep his balance. He growled and yelled as his eyes flashed red and green energy exploded from his body, destroying his armor and leaving him with a bare chest. Naruto threw a right punch to Broly's jaw, but it didn't move him. Broly then threw a huge right punch to Naruto's sternum, knocking the air out of the majestic Saiyan. Naruto then hit Broly with a right kick, sending him flying across the battlefield and crashing hard. Broly moved much faster toward Naruto, who just barely got out of the way when the Saiyan landed a punch and broke up a piece of the ground. Naruto flew towards Broly from behind. Broly turned around and caught a right kick, but a left kick to the face made him let go. Backing up, Naruto took chakra from Kurama and, to his surprise, felt his ki energy get stronger. He then heard heavy pants. Kurama, how are you? Asks Naruto. Yeah, what you did took a big piece of my chakra. But if I just rest, I'll be fine. You should win. Kurama said and then fell asleep. Naruto made a fist and yelled because he was angry. The power around him got stronger and brighter. Flying down, he gave Broly a hard right punch to the face, which knocked him back. He wasn't done yet, so he gave Broly a knee to the jaw, which sent him flying. After that, he showed up and threw a left and right punch, then an axe handle. Broly crashed through a mountain of rocks and was buried under them. This didn't last long, though, because a huge green orb burst through the rocks and headed straight for Naruto. Naruto quickly moved out of the way as the orb exploded, causing a huge blast. The Super Saiyan, who was now standing, kept firing ki after ki at the majestic Saiyan, who was flying all over the place. Naruto flipped backwards, and both men charged at the same time, throwing right punches that hit each other. This made a loud thunderbang, and energy exploded from both men, blinding the area again, but it didn't take long for the light to fade, revealing that both warriors were punching and kicking each other constantly, but Naruto was clearly faster. Broly was pushed back by a kick to the face, and Naruto ran far away. Huge Saiyan charged like a bull and just dodged a flying kick, but he didn't see the green energy ball Broly made as he quickly turned around and slammed it into his body, sending him flying and causing him to crash hard. Naruto felt a little pain, but he got up and didn't care about his torn GI. He saw Broly coming at him again, but just as he was about to disappear, Broly hit him in the gut with his huge fist, destroying the huge boulder from behind. Broly thought he was dead because he coughed up blood, but the majestic Saiyan god just burst into a cloud of smoke. Naruto flew at full speed with his aura getting stronger. He smashed his fist into the Super Saiyan's face, sending him flying. But he didn't go far, because Naruto came from behind and hit the Saiyan in the head with an axe kick, sending him deep into the earth. He wasn't done yet, so he put all the energy he had left into these last attacks. He put his hands together and fired a ki blast at the crash, setting it on fire and sending clouds of smoke into the air. Broly wailed in pain. Goku and Vegeta. Both of the warriors were going after the energy that was moving from place to place. Man, these two guys are going at it. Goku said something to Vegeta, but Vegeta didn't answer because he was still thinking about what he had to do against Broly. He was furious that a Super Saiyan. Zamasu was a Super Saiyan Blue only because he fused with Black. This gave him the power to beat his Super Saiyan Blue. Hit, whose time skipped ahead, and now this. I need to work out harder than I ever have before. Vegeta had a thought in his mind. Goku had the same thought, but he didn't know it. When he saw the majestic Saiyan God form, he knew he still had work to do. Just as they caught up to Naruto, who had a different aura and kept firing at the ground, they heard the Super Saiyan scream. Naruto stopped shooting and raised his right arm. A huge orange Rasengan appeared, but it didn't stop. Instead, white ki blades that looked like chakra ki spun around the ball. He pulled his arm back and threw the attack, which hit Broly spinning. The attack left a path of destruction as it tore up the ground. As soon as the attack hit, the energy grew into a huge orange-white dome. A few seconds later, the dome exploded, and the Super Saiyan let out a cry. The two Saiyans protected their faces from the blast and wind force, while Naruto, who was panting, dropped out of his majestic Super Saiyan God form and went back to his majestic form. The three of them looked at the smoky area. Just as the smoke cleared, Broly was slouching, but he didn't stay that way for long. He jerked his head back and yelled as green energy burst and a gold glow spread over his body. The amount of power that was being released caused the ground to crack and start to fall apart. You've got to be. Before he could finish, the majestic Saiyan was hit by a blast that sent him flying across the wastelands. When he hit the ground, it shook loudly. The word, Naruto. Goku called out to his fellow Saiyan, but he and Vegeta had just barely avoided Broly's ki blasts. Both Saiyans dodged each other as they flew through the air. Vegeta had enough, so he turned into Super Saiyan Blue and charged at the Super Saiyan. He came up in front of him and gave him a powerful punch, but it didn't bother Broly. Vegeta then grabbed him by the face and slammed him hard through a bunch of big rocks. Vegeta was knocked out when he changed back to his normal form. Not done, he then threw the Saiyan far into the air and gathered ki in his mouth before firing a green wave. Goku showed up next to Vegeta, grabbed him, and then disappeared because of his instant transmission. Goku came out from behind a rock with Vegeta on his shoulder. He put the Saiyan Prince on his back. Goku took a Senzu bean out of his pocket and put it next to Vegeta. He knew that the Saiyan Prince wouldn't be gone for very long. As ki blasts hit everywhere, the earth shook. It was clear that Broly was looking for him. Putting on a fighting face, he changed into his blue form and flew up to where the Super Saiyan was still blasting everything. Hey! Goku yelled, which got the Super Saiyan's attention. He growled and flew at supersonic speed towards Goku, which the Earth Saiyan did as well, and they fought with their fists. Goku was sent back and used his forearms to block a couple of huge punches. He winced because he could feel how powerful they were. When he saw a kick coming, he grabbed Broly and spun around quickly, throwing him away. He then used his instant transmission to appear behind Broly and go for a kick, but the Saiyan caught it and was about to break it, but Goku gave Broly a left kick that made him let go. Goku took off. I have no choice but to use the Kaioken times 10 again. I know it was dangerous the last time I used it, but I have no other choice. He stopped thinking when he felt a huge amount of power, but it was so calm that it couldn't have been Vegeta because he would have known this ki. He said, Naruto, in a low voice. Sight of crash. There was no answer for several minutes. That was until a piece of rubble moved, revealing Naruto, who was back to normal and trying to get up even though his body hurt. He winced, and he could feel a burn mark on his stomach that got better over time. Damn it, what the hell am I supposed to do? I have no more ideas. Naruto was upset because he had no idea what to do. He could feel Goku's energy and knew that he wouldn't last much longer, especially since Vegeta's energy was low. The only thing left to do was to kill Broly. He didn't want to do it, but he had to because it was the Destroyer's way, and he has to do it. Naruto gave a head shake. What was he thinking? He wasn't going to let his friend down. Broly deserved his own chance at life. The majestic Saiyan shut his eyes and tried to focus. The sounds of fighting stopped, and he could feel the world around him change as he stood on a boulder and listened to the waves crash close by. Similar to water. The majestic Saiyan focused as his ki began to flow and his body started to slowly relax. He was surrounded by silver energy for a second before it went away. When the majestic Saiyan opened his eyes, things went back to how they were before. Now, they were sharp and had a dark silver color. He quickly disappeared when he felt the huge amount of energy. Goku blocked a punch and tried to fight back with a kick, but it didn't work. He then got a hard kick to the face, which sent him tumbling to the ground. He slowly came to and saw Broly getting ready to shoot a ki wave. He did everything he could, but it wasn't enough. He apologized to everyone and said, "I'm sorry, I did everything I could." Goku went back to normal. Broly fired from his mouth at the injured Saiyan, but just as the attack was about to hit the sky, someone appeared in front of Goku and slapped it away. This made a huge shockwave that shook the earth. Goku was shocked by what he saw. When he looked closely, he saw that it was Naruto, but his ki felt completely different. It felt both dangerously strong and very calm. When he turned his head, he saw that the majestic Saiyan's eyes were dark silver and that his face showed no emotion. He said in a calm voice, "I've got this." Goku didn't ask his fellow Saiyan any questions. Instead, he slowly climbed out of the small crater. He told them to be careful and then used his instant transmission to disappear. Broly flew down and threw a fast kick at Naruto, but Naruto dodged it. Broly kept attacking with punches and kicks, but none of them hit Naruto. Once he threw a punch, it hit Naruto, who was now behind him. The Super Saiyan felt a barrage of punches all over his body and fell to the ground. Naruto stood still and then quickly and easily dodged several ki blasts. Broly charged as he kept firing ki blasts, but none of them hit the majestic Saiyan. This made him angry. Again, he charged with increasing speed and started throwing punches, but Naruto kept dodging them. When he saw an opening, he threw a right punch to Broly's gut that was so hard that he gasped for air, fell to the ground, lost consciousness, and went back to normal. Naruto looked down at his friend as the blue in his eyes slowly went away. The majestic Saiyan fell on his back because all of his energy was gone and he felt a little numb all over. He was still awake and trying to figure out what just happened and what that power was. He saw Goku come out with a now awake Vegeta. He came down and threw a senzu at him, which he caught and ate. A few seconds later, he got back up, but to his surprise, he was still feeling the effects of the battle. Goku told the majestic Saiyan, "You did it." The majestic Saiyan smiled and gave a thumbs up. Vegeta landed on the ground, walked up to Broly, and shot at him. "Vegeta, what are you doing?" Goku asked. "What does it look like?" "I'm putting an end to this for good." He spat and turned blue as his attack was about to happen, but Naruto grabbed his wrist and gave him a hard look. Broly doesn't deserve to die. His so-called father made him the way he is. He has potential and heart, and he deserves a chance. Plus, Vegeta, if you want a rematch, this will give you more reason to train. He smiled at the end. Vegeta knew what the Saiyan was doing. Usually, he would ignore this because he had to protect the Earth no matter what, but the majestic Saiyan did make a good point about fighting Broly again. Vegeta clenched his teeth and let go of his arm, which stopped his attack. Naruto smiled and thanked Vegeta with a nod. He heard Broly groan and looked over to see him wake up. As he stood up, everyone was nervous, but he looked confused. "What happened? Where is my dad?" he asked, looking like a child who had gotten lost. Naruto gave him a sad smile and walked over to him. He put his hand on his arm and said, "We'll talk." Broly looked confused. He told the two Saiyans, "Hold on to me," and they grabbed his shoulder. They all lit up and disappeared in a flash of light. The bunch. Once F. Trunks got back with Bardock and Mai, he told the rest of the group what was going on. Jine was worried when she heard that her son was staying behind to help, but her husband put his arm around her and told her that their son was strong and could take care of himself, and that Vegeta was with him, which made her feel a little better. Whis and Beerus came and were surprised to see Kaguya waiting for them. When they hugged, it surprised Kaguya's brother. She told both men what was going on. Beerus was angry, not because Goku and Vegeta were helping him, but because this was their job. Whis can see through his student and know that he did appreciate the help of his former apprentice. F. Bulma was checking on Trunks and Mai. Trunks had introduced Mai to Bulma. Jine, Chi-Chi, and Vital were talking while Baby Pan tried to grab her grandpa's tail. This made them laugh because they could see that Pan and Bardock were related. Gohan was telling Piccolo that he wanted to train again with him. Goten and Trunks were playing a game of flying tag. Everyone in the group looked up when there was a bright flash, and Naruto, Goku, Vegeta, and Broly were there. Dad, Kakarot. His son and family, including his mother, ran over to hug him. He laughed as he hugged them. Trunks ran over to his father and smiled at him. His father smiled back and ruffled his hair, and then his wife came over and gave him a hug. He wasn't usually soft, but he also hugged her. This made Trunks and Mai smile. Naruto walked over to Kagaya, who was standing next to Whis and Beerus. Senseis. He bowed to show respect. She said, "You took longer than I expected." He told them, "Yeah, I'm sorry. Things got out of hand, but the most important thing is that we're back together and Zamasu is taken care of for good." Beerus said it in a funny way at the end, making Whis and Kagaya laugh. "Even though I would have liked Goku and Vegeta to handle it, I appreciate it. Just don't tell anyone." "I promise, Sensei," Naruto said with a laugh. He turned around and saw Broly sitting near a tree with a sad face. He sighed, got up, and walked over to Broly. "How are you feeling, big guy?" He asked, but for a minute there was no answer. "Father has left, right?" he asked with a serious look at the ground. Naruto let out a big sigh, sat down next to him, and said, "I'm sorry, Broly. I really am." Broly said quietly, "I'm all alone now." "No, you're not," he heard, and turned to see Naruto smiling. "You've got friends, and I'm one of them." Naruto put his hand on the Saiyan's shoulder and said, "Come on, we have a lot of work to do. Chilai, Lemo, Kagaya, Bardock, and Jine are all your friends, and we're not going anywhere soon." Broly smiled for the first time in a long time, and just like Ba, he was happy to have friends. After a few days' time. Today was the day that Trunks and Mai went back to the future to finish their work. The future Saiyan gave his thanks to Goku, his father, Naruto, and their friends. Trunks said, "I can't thank you all enough for what you've done. I wish I could stay longer, but there's a lot of work to be done and help to be given in the future." Naruto was thinking and asked, "You said the Earth Dragon Balls were gone, right?" He gives a nod. "How about New Namek? Is it possible that they still have the Dragon Balls?" Naruto asked. "Hey, you're right, Black and Zamasu did know that the Earth Dragon Balls were gone, but they didn't know about Namek's," said Goku. "Once I get home, I'll have to start looking." "Mom, do you think you can spare the Dragon Radar?" asked Trunks. The mother with blue hair nodded and went to get it. Naruto said, "I guess our job is done, so we should move on." "Again, thank you," said Trunks. He put out his hand, which Naruto took and shook. Jine gave her son a tight hug and told him, "You've grown up to be a strong man, just like Bardock. I'm glad you've made friends who will always be there for you. Keep your family close and safe." She kissed his forehead. Goku smiled and said, "I always will." Jine smiled and stepped back as Bardock stood in front of him. Nothing was said between father and son for at least 30 seconds. Bardock gave a small smile and put his hand on his son's shoulder. "I knew you were destined for great things. I didn't need to be a psychic to know." Goku smiled. He didn't believe in fate, but it felt good to know that both his father and mother believed in him. Until next time, Kakarot, Bardock told Naruto, Broly, and Kagaya. Then he and his wife left, leaving Naruto, Broly, and Kagaya alone. Naruto told Kagaya, "The angel, we're ready." "As you wish, Naruto," the angel said. She then tapped the ground with her scepter, and the group of people quickly disappeared. Goku was thinking about Naruto's power. Whis might know what it was, but for now, Goku has to train. Vegeta saw Kakarot leave and knew he was going to train. After this fight, he had to train a lot, but the Saiyan Prince wasn't going to sit around and let it happen. He went to the gravity room and got ready for a long, hard training session. After a week. It's been a week since the battle with Zamasu, and things had been going normally. Naruto had gone to Konohagakure, where the people, his teachers, and his friends gave him a hero's welcome. They had a small party to celebrate, and even though Naruto didn't drink, he was feeling pretty good. He bumped into someone, and it turned out that it was the girl he was looking for. Hinata is a. Once they were alone, Naruto took her as they disappeared. Seconds later, they were in his old apartment, which was spotless and clean, just the way he left it. Before the Lavender Hyuga princess could say anything, a pair of lips locked onto hers, making her eyes widen. As the two fell back on a bed, the majestic Saiyan's tail wrapped around her waist, and the kiss got deeper. That night would be the best of their lives because they both fell in love. When she woke up the next morning, he was gone, but there was a scroll on her nightstand that she opened and read. At the end, she gave a small smile. He had a duty to fulfill, and she couldn't stop him, but she was happy that he understood how she felt. She looked out the window at the beautiful morning and said, "Naruto-kun." After 2 weeks. Naruto was sitting cross-legged and meditating. When he had time to talk to his angel, he told her about the strange calm energy. When he told her how it felt, her eyes grew as big as saucers and her jaw dropped. There was no way he could have used the power that all her siblings have. It couldn't be for sure until Naruto showed her, but the majestic Saiyan had trouble because he didn't get the same feeling the first time he used it. Kaguya thought this was more proof, and she thought she'd really see it in the next chapter. Broly had become a Super Saiyan, so Naruto and Kaguya helped him learn how to control it. Normally, this would have taken years because of how powerful Broly was, but training in the Angel's Scepter made it go much faster. Bardock also started to work on keeping his Super Saiyan 2 form for longer. It wasn't easy, since it was harder than his Super Saiyan. But over time, he got the hang of it. Broly, as a Super Saiyan, and SSJ-2 Bardock were fighting in the air. A corkscrew kick hit the Super Saiyan's jaw, but he shook it off and hit Bardock with a kick that was blocked but sent him a long way back. Just as they were about to fight, Kaguya stopped both of them with her hands, which surprised both of them. "What's the matter, Kaguya?" Naruto opened his eyes and asked her as he did so. Kaguya told him, "It looks like my father is coming." "You sure?" "That's strange," Naruto said. The two Saiyans changed back to normal. Kaguya nodded, and a few seconds later, they disappeared. Then, they came back to life, which surprised the Supreme Kai. "Yo, Hagora. What are you doing here?" asked Naruto. Before he spoke, a purple vortex opened up and scared everyone except Kaguya and Naruto, who were hiding behind Broly with Chilai and Lemo. Coming out had shown with a small smile to the Grand Minister. He said, "Hello, everyone." Everyone was still on guard, but Hagora was kneeling in front of him. Naruto put their minds at ease by telling them, "It's okay. This is the Grand Minister. He's Zeno-sama's advisor. He's also Kaguya's father and Hagora's grandfather." The last thing he said shocked everyone. Kaguya bowed to him and said, "I hope you're well, father." He smiled and said, "Yes, daughter, I am, thank you." "Oh, Naruto-san. Zeno-sama thanks you for reminding him about the tournament. We've finally figured out when and how it will happen." Naruto said, "That's great, let's hear it." Hagora hissed, "Naruto, show some respect." "It's fine." The priest took out a scroll, opened it, and began to read. On the 3,135,500,603rd day of the king's calendar at the 157th hour, 10 warriors from each universe will be chosen to take part in the Tournament of Power. 10 knights? This was a surprise to Naruto. Where is this tournament going to take place? Bardock asked. The Grand Priest said, "It will happen in the world of Void." The Void World? Naruto was confused because he had never heard of a place, so he turned to his guardian angel and asked, "Kaguya, do you know of it?" She nods and says, "It's a world of infinite nothingness, where neither time nor space exist. It's the perfect place for the tournament because there's nothing there, so you don't have to be careful." "You're right, daughter. During the tournament between the 6th and 7th universes, the Super Dragon Balls, which can grant any wish, will be given to the winners of our competition. They have already been gathered in preparation for this grand event," said the Grand Minister. Everyone was amazed by the prize except Naruto, Kaguya, and Hagora. Jin spoke up and asked the Grand Priest, "Excuse me, but what will happen if you lose?" This made everyone curious. The Grand Priest sighed and said, "Grand Zeno wanted to make this announcement later, but since the Omni King liked Naruto, I guess I'll make an exception." Naruto cocked his head. By its contrast, it is a prize, and the universes that don't win will be wiped out. As the wind blew, all was quiet. What? Naruto stuttered as his blood turned cold. The others couldn't believe what he said, and Kaguya looked a little worried. "It's easy. Grand Zeno will make sure that all the defeated universes are gone as soon as possible," said the Grand Minister. "Everything in the world. Wet you." Naruto had grown so big that it was funny. When everyone saw that it was true, their faces turned scared. Jin passed out in Bardock's arms, and everyone was shaken. The Grand Priest said, "Naruto, there's one more thing, which got Naruto's attention. In the meantime, the Omni King has a favor to ask of you." "What is it?" The disciple of God asked, now interested. "In a show, he wants some fighters from your universe, including you, to face champions from the 9th universe. Fighters from the 7th universe will also take part. Think of it as a warm-up before the main show starts. The Omni King called it the Zeno Expo." Who is going to fight who? Naruto asked. The 9th universe has agreed to face you in the 7th universe in a triple exhibition match. 3 Saiyans all looked at each other. When you get to Zeno-sama's palace, you have 1 hour to find 3 warriors. The Grand Priest was high in the air as the vortex appeared behind him and disappeared with him. Naruto turned to the group, who were looking confused. He used his ki to get their attention and told them, I know what you're all thinking, but there's no time to think about it now. We have to be ready for these fights. Naruto-sensei is right, it's best to focus on these fights and worry about the other problem later, Kagaya says. Bardock and Brawly nod because they're right. The majestic Saiyan told them, go get ready, and then he walked away. Kagaya saw a worried look on his face as she walked with him. I can't believe my stunt has put the other universes, including mine, in danger. He clenched his fist in anger. This is all my fault. Kagaya told him, Naruto-sama, you shouldn't blame yourself. I'm sure Zeno-sama has a reason for doing this, but we won't know what it is until we meet the people from the other universes at his palace. The two of them turned to see Hagora. Mother is right, Hagora says. Zeno-sama wouldn't do this just because. Once we get there, I'm sure he'll explain. They were right, so Naruto nodded and said, yeah, I guess we'll have to find out when we get there. He then went to get ready. After an hour, Naruto met up with his Saiyan friends, who were all dressed up. Brawly had new armor that looked the same as his old one, with purple pants and a green fur pelt around his waist. Bardock fought in the future wearing the same look. Naruto wore the same white gi with no sleeves, but thanks to Kagaya, the back of it said, Majestic, in kanji, and the front had the clan symbol of his mother's clan. Are you all ready? He asked as he looked at the people who all nodded. Kagaya, if you could, he asked the angel. She nods and taps her scepter on the ground. The group turns to the others who are waving goodbye. Brawly waves to Chilai and Lemo, and Bardock smiles and waves to his wife. The group was no longer there. The group, including Hagora and Kagaya, showed up in front of Grand Zeno's palace, which was shaped like the kanji for Zen. Universe 7's fighters showed up next to them. With Mr. Satan or Goku, Gohan, and Buu. Beerus, Whis, the most powerful Kai, Elder, and Attendant were with them. Hello, Naruto. Goku smiled and said hello. Naruto gave back a smile. Goku, it's nice to see you again. He said hello back. Goku looked over to see his father nodding at him, so he did the same. Brawly was there. The Earth Saiyan put out his hand and said, hey, we haven't really met yet. My name is Goku, but my Saiyan name is Kakarot. Nice to meet you. Brawly was confused when he looked at it and gripped the hand in the same way. This is Brawly. He told Goku, who was still smiling. I hope we get to fight again and have a rematch. Says Goku. When did they fight? Brawly looked confused. Goku, if you're done, we need to move now. Beerus said it sternly. Whis and Kagaya were still leading their universes through the big hall. How strong is this Zeno person? Bardock was asked straight out. Kagaya felt pain. Zeno-sama. She told him what to do. Is not a fighter, but he has the power to show why he is called the Omni King. If he wanted to, he could just wave his hand and wipe you all out, or a planet, or even the whole universe, and you wouldn't even know it. The Saiyans and Mr. Satan were shocked, but Naruto and Goku already knew this. They kept walking and soon saw a group of 6 people. The Saiyans' eyes got smaller as they got a better look at their opponent, who was a group of warriors that looked like wolves but had different colors of fur. These were the Kai, the god of Universe 9, and his angel. Hello World 9, it's been a long time. Shin said hello. Naruto looked at all 3 of them, but he didn't feel any energy from them. He looked over and saw Goku figuring out how to beat his opponents. This looks like it could be fun. With a small grin, Naruto thought. The main throne. Thanks to all of you for being here. They were met by the great priest. Everyone got down on their knees and put their heads down. Now, if we look at all the martial arts tournaments on Earth, I'll set up a fighting stage and places for people to watch. With a flick of his finger, he turned the place into an elaborate arena. Naruto's team stood on a floating platform, while Goku and Universe 9 did the same. Gods, please get together. The Grand Priest said, do this. All 12 gods of destruction floated down on their own floating ring platforms with their Kais and angels. Universe 7 was shocked to see all the gods, and Universe 0 was also shocked, except Naruto, who was looking at the figure in the black hooded cloak. Whoever it is, he or she had a lot of energy, but I could tell there was more going on. Thank you for coming, Supreme Kais and Gods of Destruction. As you already know, Zeno-sama wants to hold a martial arts tournament called the Tournament of Power. But he wants to know what to expect from the tournament and will change the rules when it's over, so we'll have a Zen triple exhibition match here. His Majesty, I present you all. The Grand Priest said, Zeno-sama, and bowed just as Zeno floated down on his throne with his guards. Everybody put their heads down. Zen-chan. Goku and Naruto called out. Beerus's eyes went wide and he was sweating like crazy, just like his brother. Zen-chan? Did they just say that? Naruto and Goku flew over to Zeno. Thanks, Datbeo, for setting this up. Yeah, you won't be let down, Goku said with a little bit of excitement. Naruto was suddenly pulled back by an invisible force and slammed hard onto the platform. Beerus quickly pulled Goku back and slammed him down to the group. He bowed several times and apologized to Zeno. Ouch, 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 ouch. Hagora, what the hell? Naruto gave Kai the evil eye. Naruto-sama, please don't do that. Kagaya asked. The other gods began to talk about how rude the humans were and wondered who Naruto was since they had never seen him. The Grand Priest put up his hand to get everyone to be quiet. This is Naruto Uzumaki. At the request of Zeno-sama, he is training to be the first god of destruction of a universe that has been forgotten for a long time. He is also the reason why the Tournament of Power exists. Before going on, he told them. Now, everyone, Zeno-sama has asked for a triple exhibition match between 3 martial artists from Universe 9, Universe 7, and Universe 0. There is no set amount of time. Fight with everything you have until both of your opponents admit defeat or can't go on. The Grand Priest told us. He went on after letting the information sink in. It's time for the first game. Warriors, it's time to fight. One of the Red Wolf fighters jumped down because he said he would go first, which Naruto saw. He could tell that the wolf was being arrogant, which made him shake his head. He then saw someone from Universe 7 jump down to the arena. He remembered that it was Boo because Goku had told him that Boo had given him and Vegeta trouble when they first met. He took a look at his troops. Okay, it looks like both Goku and Universe 9 have picked their first round fighters. Who wants to go first? Bardock thought about it and wanted to show off his new power, but seeing his grandson made him change his mind. His son told him that his grandson doesn't fight as much as he used to, which didn't make him happy. He thinks it's time to be strict with her. I'll pass, and he can have him. He showed Brawly his thumb by putting it over his shoulder. Naruto was confused because he was sure that Bardock would be the first to step up. He didn't understand why Bardock didn't do it. He gave Brawly a look. He asked, "You up for it?" Brawly didn't know what to do, but seeing Kai of Universe 9 and his fighters smile arrogantly made him angry. He puts on a rare serious face, nods, and jumps down to the arena. When he lands, the arena shakes just a little. Wow, who is that Vados guy? He has a huge amount of energy, said a little surprised Champa. I'm not sure, my lord, but based on how he looks, he must be a Saiyan, and the same could be said about the other one. Vados said as he looked at the handsome destroyer. 2 Saiyans. Champa was surprised. From the energy of this fighter, it looks like Universe 0 won't hold back. Lakur, the fox god, said. Moscow, the robot god, made some beeping sounds. His interpreter, Kai from Universe 3, changed his glasses. Moscow agrees with that, and it's pretty amazing that this fighter isn't even making any come out. My. So, it looks like Universe 0 has strong fighters and a handsome god of destruction. Hellas, the goddess of destruction of Universe 2, asked who was looking at the Saiyan ninja with lust in their eyes. Seriously, Hellas, this boy may be on his way to becoming a destroyer, but he is still young. We have to see if he's up to the job, Arak said. Those 2 Saiyans have a lot of nerve to talk to Zeno-sama that way. Whether you're a destroyer or not, you don't talk down to the Omni King, the pink elephant yelled. Because Universe 10's angel and servant was a girl with white hair braided into a ponytail, she looked young but had a nice body, especially a nice rear. When she saw the destroyer of Universe 0, he made her blush, but she tried to hide it. Her sister wasn't lying when she said that he looked good. This should be fun to watch, but I have to admit that I'm curious about what these fighters from Universe 0 can do. This guy could fight you, Topo, but I know from my training that you'll beat him like a fly. Vermouth, a clown and the god of destruction of Universe 11, said. Yes, Vermouth-sama, justice will always win out in the end. Universe 11's Topo, who wore a cloak and a hood, said this. This made Kai smile. Margarita worked as a waitress at Vermouth. She was about the same height as Vegito's and had white hair in pigtails. Her rear was just as nice as Cuss's, and her bust was the same as Vidos's. She didn't agree with what he said, so she told him so. Vermouth was too full of himself to see that this warrior had more to him. When she saw the majestic Saiyan, she couldn't help but blush a little. Whoa, this guy is no joke. Who is he, Dad? Gohan asked when he felt Broly's power. His name is Broly. Naruto told me that he was a Saiyan who was sent away. He found him on some planet, and let me tell you, that guy can fight. Goku laughed at the last thing said. Whis' eyes got narrow as he remembered seeing Broly being sent to planet Vampa to be killed, but because he wasn't a normal Saiyan baby, he and his father lived. Hey, guys, Boo will be fine, right? Mr. Satan was asked. Goku groaned in silence. If he had been Vegeta, he would have told him straight out that Boo couldn't beat him. He didn't think Broly would fight in the first round, so he's hoping that Boo will give him a good fight. What do you think about it, Whis? Beerus asked the man who helped him. Majin Buu and Basil may be about the same, but we can't forget that Boo can get stronger. This Saiyan Broly, on the other hand, may be on a whole different level. Said Whis. So, you're against me? Basil laughed arrogantly and said. Boo yawned, but Broly didn't answer. His eyes were still narrowed as he looked at the wolf. The crowd was still. Let's start the first match. The Grand Priest spoke as a gong rang to show that it was time to start. Basil smiled and disappeared in a blur. He then kicked Boo hard in the face, sending him flying back and making him bounce off the ground. He didn't stop there, though. He came back from behind, kicked Boo high in the air, and started his attack while Boo was still in the air. He's very fast. Bardock said something. It looks like most of his moves are kicks, but they're not just any kicks. Naruto said as he kept watching the battle. Boo fell hard on his back on the arena floor, but his face stayed calm. Boo! A worried Satan yelled. Basil was happy. The first guy from Universe 7 looks like a fool. The Kai from Universe 9 was happy about his team's first win, but the Kai from Universe 7 was worried. Broly finally got tired of Basil. He walked calmly toward him, which got everyone's attention. So, it looks like Broly is about to step in. Said Whis. Let's find out how he does. Beerus told us. Basil saw him and stayed where he was with his arms crossed and a smile on his face. Broly had finally stepped back a few feet, and the two warriors were now looking at each other. Just like before, Basil disappeared in a blur and then appeared in front of Broly. He gave Broly a loud kick to the chest, but to Universe 9 and Basil's surprise, the kick didn't even move Broly. Basil gritted his teeth and disappeared before reappearing in midair with a spinning sidekick to the head that made a small shockwave. Again, Broly didn't move and was getting bored, so Basil yelled and started to attack with fast kicks, but they didn't hurt the Saiyan because they felt like taps. How can he take Basil's kicks? Kai from Universe 9 couldn't believe what he saw. Even if he isn't using his full power, that should do at least some damage. He's not showing any signs of weakness from those attacks. Gohan said in a tone of surprise. Goku knew that those kicks wouldn't hurt Broly because his own punches didn't hurt the Saiyan when he was going crazy. Everyone stopped fighting when they heard a small laugh. Then they heard Boo's laugh getting louder, which confused everyone, and they saw Boo quickly get up. That was fun, and now it's my turn. Boo clapped. Give them what for, Boo. Mr. Satan was happy. Basil, it's time for you to get serious. Told the blue wolf to come out. Basil jumped back and said, to think I would have to go this far. He spoke up. As he yelled, a dark red energy began to surround him. He let out a strong gust of wind, which slightly cracked the arena. He laughed. It's time to go home. He disappeared in a blur, kicked Boo in the air again, and attacked him the same way as before, until he started stomping Boo's face over and over. He gave him a powerful kick with his axe, and he fell a few feet from Broly. Basil shouted, don't think I've forgotten about you. As both of his legs were now surrounded by a dark red aura and quickly fired red ki at the two opponents, causing a strong explosion and shockwave that damaged the arena. Kagaya and Hagora watched as Naruto and Bardock stood still with their arms crossed as the pressure of the wind blew past them. The fox landed with his arms crossed and a smile on his face. Universes 7 and 0. They have no chance against us, he said with a laugh. That's the triple threat for you, Basil. Keep it up. Universe 9 was proud and got a cheer. Kai. As the wolf kept talking, a high-pitched laugh cut him off. When the smoke cleared, Boo was still standing, even though he had a big hole in his body that didn't bother him. But when the smoke cleared up more, Brawly was still standing and had not been hurt in any way, not even a little scratch. How could they withstand Basil's attacks? The Kai of Universe 9 Row was shocked. Boo looked at the hole in his body until Goku called Satan by name, which made him look to see Earth's champion hurt. Mr. Satan, how are you? Said to Boo. Satan held his arm and had a little bit of blood on his head from the effects of the shockwave. I'm fine, Boo, he said. Satan said, through all the pain. Boo can help heal you. The pink fighter said that he or she would help but. Don't worry about me, Boo. I'll be fine. Just beat him. Satan smiled and then fell asleep. Goku looked at him and said that he was just out of it. But this made Boo very angry. With his fist clenched and his eyes dangerously narrowed, he turned back to Basil and slowly walked toward him. How could you? You have no right to hurt Mr. Satan. Yelled at the end, and he didn't look like he could breathe until the gaping hole was fixed. Nani? Asked the Red Wolf, surprised. An impressive comeback. Naruto said something. Sugoi. Zeno yelled with joy. Boo hit his chest and started moving faster. He stopped when steam came out of his head. His energy just went up a lot. He might look weird, but he is definitely strong. Bardock told him. Basil fired the same attack from his leg, which was a single powerful one that Boo caught in the middle as he was pushing it back. Without thinking, he accidentally threw the attack at the Saiyan, who saw this and punched it at Basil so fast that the wolf warrior only had a few seconds to block it before it exploded and knocked him down, but not before he caught himself, panted, and winced at the damage he took from his own attack. It looks like the warrior from Universe 0 does have power. Ivan, the god of destruction of the universe, said, 1. That last attack didn't even hurt him. Champa was surprised. Naruto's fighter seems to be a lot stronger than we thought. Vegito said, I'm impressed by the warrior. Boo flew towards the injured Basil and punched him hard in the face, which sent him flying back, but not done yet. He appeared below Basil and smashed his head into the spine, sending his opponent high in the air. Unfortunately, Boo appeared in front of him and slapped both his hands against the head and relentlessly repeated the attack until he stopped and gave a hard right hammer punch which sent the warrior beast crashing deep into the ground, leaving only his leg exposed. Boo grabbed Basil's leg and pulled him out, but then he was swung down hard to the left and right and spun around very quickly until he was thrown into a pillar, which broke into pieces as the wolf warrior fell. Oh yeah, Boo, way to go. Goku clapped. Unexpectedly, Boo got hit in the face with a strong punch that sent him flying into a pillar. He hit the pillar hard and then bounced back hard onto the arena. When he got up, he saw that the person who hit him was Brawly, who looked a little crazy. Oh no, it looks like Brawly didn't like it when Boo turned that last attack toward him. Says Naruto. Boo's face looked angry. Since you were rude to me, Boo will hurt you. He flew at the Saiyan and hit him with a strong right punch, but Brawly didn't feel a thing. Instead, he turned and glared at Boo while the punch was still pushing against his cheek. He tightened his right fist and threw a powerful punch that connected with Boo's body and sent him flying into the air. Getting his balance back, Boo got madder and started firing multiple key attacks at Brawly, who flew forward and took them. To everyone's surprise, except Goku and Whis, each of Boo's attacks seemed to be blocked by a green aura-like shield. Brawly suddenly sped up because he was now behind Boo. This surprised the pink monster, who was hit with a barrage of punches that he was barely able to block. Finally, a kick caught him off guard and left him slightly dazed. He was grabbed by his head and tail and spun around quickly before being thrown hard into the ground, causing a shockwave that kicked up dust everywhere. It looks like Brawly's training has, as Naruto-sama would say, paid off. Kagaya said something. The boy nods. Brawly is a natural fighting genius. It's amazing how quickly he adapts things to his own style. Don't forget that he also has Super Saiyan power, but I doubt he'll have to use it in this fight. Bardock told him. After the smoke had gone away. A little more damage has already done more damage to the arena. In the crater, Boo was lying down. He clenched his teeth and got himself back up. Before they had another fight, Basil climbed back up on the arena, and a loud grunt got the attention of the two fighters. Ro yelled, "Basil, you better not lose. Shut up and hand it to me." Basil spoke up. Ro took a small purple fruit out of his pocket. "Whatever happens, it's on you," he said as he threw the object at Basil, who caught it in his mouth and ate it. Basil growled as his dark red aura energy surrounded him and his whole body, arms, and legs started to grow into a muscular shape. He shouted, letting out his now powerful energy. Whoa! Zeno was blown away. "What the heck, man? Universe 9 shouldn't be allowed to get help from outside. Beerus was at fault. What was that thing he swallowed, Hagora?" Naruto asked his strongest ally, Kai. "I don't know what it's called, but I do know that it gives the user a huge boost in power." Hagora said it. "The fight will go on," the Grand Priest said. Basil gave off a dark red energy as he stared at Boo and looked up at Brawly, who was looking between Basil and Boo. Basil looked at Boo, Boo looked at Brawly, and Brawly looked at both of them. Neither of them moved. Basil rushed at Boo quickly and started his attacks with a blur of kicks that Boo kept up with for a few seconds until an attack slipped in and hit him in the face with many kicks until a roundhouse knocked him away as he rolled and hit the ground hard. Brawly quickly looked up and saw Basil coming down on him. "Now you're next," he said, and he started attacking Basil with a flurry of stomps that the Saiyan was trying to block but was being pushed down by. "Show them your power, Basil," yelled Ro. "This is all over." Basil gave Brawly a hard axe kick, and Brawly fell on Boo, who had just stood up. Basil wasn't done yet, but he was getting ready to use his signature move. Pressure on Hitler, sending out powerful ki blasts in waves. Brawly and Boo stood up, but all they could do was block the attacks, which were coming from all over the arena, which was shaped like a ball that exploded into light. Except for Universe 7, Goku and Whis looked worried, but Naruto and his universe didn't look worried at all. Zeno was in awe. The arena was still standing when the light went out, but it was more damaged. Basil landed safely and was breathing hard as he looked happy. He had a smile on his face. "Victory is mine," he yelled. "Check out that 7 and 0. Ro said it with pride. "This is the power of Universe 9. The trio of danger can beat any of you." Basil let out a laugh like a hyena. Except for Universe 7, Goku had different looks on their faces, but Naruto and Bardock were both getting very annoyed by that laugh. When the smoke slowly cleared, there was a person standing there, which made the wolf stop and look around in confusion at first, and then in horror. Brawly stood there in the X blocking position with his green aura gone. His armor was chipped, but he was surprisingly not hurt at all. That's just not possible." Ro stuttered as he took a step back. 125 Dragon Ball Super Brawly Original Soundtrack, Awakened Power. Brawly growled as he clenched his teeth and his pupils shrank. His aura, which surrounded his body and made his arms and fists grow much bigger, also turned green-yellow. He yelled out loud, making a roar like an Uzaru. This let out all of his energy and sent a strong gust of wind everywhere. Universes 9 and 7 were covering their faces because of the pressure, except for angels, gods, Goku, and Beerus. "He's about to start getting serious now." The Saiyan ninja said something. "He's getting stronger, Sugoi." Zeno wanted. "Wow, his energy just went through the roof." Gohan said, his forehead wet with sweat. When Goku first saw this, he could tell that Brawly was stronger than he was. He smiled in a way that seemed like a challenge. Ancestor in his eyes. Shin brought up. "This Saiyan Brawly seems to be able to use the power of an Uzaru without becoming one." Elder Kai said, "I'm impressed because I never thought it was possible." "What the hell is that Vados?" yelled Champa in a panic. Naruto-sama's warrior energy seems to have grown a lot. Vados said as she felt the new power of the Saiyan. "I have to say that Universe Zero's warrior has not let me down." Hellas said this as she watched the game and liked it. "Well, at least this new universe is entertaining." The pink elephant known as Ramon, god of destruction of Universe 10, was laughed at. "Interesting. This Saiyan's strength might be able to challenge you, Toppo." Margarita said it. Toppo was too interested in what was going on. Brawly growled as he locked his eyes on Basil. He disappeared so quickly that the warrior beast didn't have time to block. A huge, shattering punch to the body had sent him flying so high that he thought his organs would burst. Brawly came from behind and hit Basil in the face with left and right blows. He then kicked Basil, which knocked him down. Brawly then came from below and hit the wolf's spine with a rising knee, making the wolf yell in pain. Brawly grabbed the warrior and gave him several headbutts before giving him one last hard one that knocked him down. As the dust settled, Basil was barely able to stand up. When Brawly saw this, he chose to finish it. He yelled as a ball of ki formed in his mouth and began to grow. His eyes get very big. Is he trying to make a bomb like the Biju bomb? Brawly fired the attack when it was ready. Basil was shocked when he saw the huge green orb coming at him. When it ate him up, he couldn't do anything. He screamed as the ki bomb went off, sending out a green wave of energy that exploded and released a strong force. Ost ends at 3:29. When the smoke cleared, you could see that half of the arena had been destroyed and that Basil had been knocked out. He was back to normal, and smoke was coming out of his fur. Even the other two warriors in Universe 9 were shocked. It just can't be. Ro just couldn't believe it. Universe 7 was impressed by the attack, but Goku was the most impressed because he had never seen anything like it before. Wow, that was great. The Omni King was happy. Bardock said, I knew he didn't have a chance. I'm surprised he was able to make a Biju bomb again. Kagaya, did you know this? Asks Naruto. Kagaya had a small laugh. Brawly did tell me that he was practicing an attack he learned from you, but he told me to keep it a secret. Naruto laughed and shook his head. He stopped when he felt something else. It looks like Brawly is still going. Exactly what he said. Down in the arena, Boo rolled up from the ground and looked fine. Brawly turned to look at him and his eyes got smaller. Boo looked up and gave his neck a crack. He could see that the wolf warrior had lost. You might think that Boo would like Brawly, but you chose the opponent of Boo. He clenched his fist in anger and gained more power. His pink aura surprised Universe 7. Wow, Majin Buu's power has reached a whole new level. Shin was surprised. You were right, he is much stronger now than when I first fought him. Gohan said yes. Whis said, we'll have to see if it's enough for him to win, but he doesn't think it is. Boo flew quickly toward Brawly and threw a punch, which Brawly blocked with his forearm. Brawly then kicked back, which Boo blocked, but it still sent him flying into a column. Brawly didn't expect to be stopped when a strong gust of wind hit him in the face as he flew toward the pink fighter. Boo quickly pulled out the dent pillar and flew in for a punch to the face. He didn't stop though, and kept going with lefts and rights. Brawly was starting to feel a little dizzy when a kick to the chin sent him higher into the air. Boo turned into a ball and hit the Saiyan many times by bouncing around like a pinball. Yes, it seems that Majin Buu now has the upper hand. Shin was happy. Yeah, if he keeps going like this, he might just win. Says Gohan. Don't think that way. What Whis said threw them both off. Pay close attention. The angel told them this as they looked at Majin Buu, who was back to throwing punches at Brawly's face. If you looked closely, he seemed to be getting more angry. Each blow seems to do little more than make him mad. What did Elder Kai say? Brawly had had enough, so he yelled and a blast of energy came out of him, which sent Buu back. The aura around the Saiyan got stronger as it grew bigger all around, making an energy-like pillar that made the other gods a little bit surprised. Zeno's eyes were shining with joy. This is awesome. He yelled, making the Grand Priest laugh and nod. Yes, my lord, I agree with you. Well, it looks like things are about to get very interesting. Lacour told me. The robot god made a few short beeps. Moscow-sama says it's unusual for a normal person to have so much power. Universe 0 seems to want to say something. Kai Air had said. I have to admit that Universe 0 has some promise. Ivan said. It's interesting that this warrior seems to get stronger by the minute. Is this really Universe 0's true power? Hellas said that he liked what Universe 0 had shown so far. As Boo got back to his feet, he saw Brawly coming at him at a crazy speed. He dodged a big footprint making stomp. When Boo jumped back, he fired a barrage of ki blasts, but the big Saiyan just ran right through them. He hit Boo with a clothesline that turned him inside out, but that wasn't the end. Brawly grabbed his leg while he was in the air and slammed him down hard, making a small crater. Boo let out a grunt of pain, but it was too late because Brawly did it 3 more times. Every slam made everyone in Universe 7 cringe, even Goku. The Saiyan then took to the air and dragged Boo's face across the floor of the arena before throwing him hard into a pillar, which broke. Boo fell onto the arena and, amazingly, was still awake. He grunted and took a few small steps to get up. "I'll give it to Boo, he just won't give up," says Naruto. "He might look and act silly, but he has the pride of a warrior." Bardock said something. Boo pulled his hands back as a yellow keyball started to form and purple lightning started to crackle from it. Broly saw this and knew what to do. He put out his right arm, and to Naruto's surprise, a swirling green ball of ki slowly grew bigger in the Saiyan's hands. Not only was the Saiyan ninja shocked, but so was Goku, who remembered fighting Naruto and getting hurt in that fight. Once he was done, Broly ran at Boo, who shot a wave of gold energy at him. But as the attack got closer, he put out his hand and smashed the big ball of ki into the wave of energy coming at him. Universe 7 was surprised when the wave of golden energy started to slowly go away and the ki ball started to look green and gold. When the energy wave got weaker, Broly broke through it, which surprised Boo. The energy ball slammed into his body, releasing a wave of energy that caused a huge explosion that filled the air with smoke. Universe 7 was worried about their fighter, and all they could do was hope that Boo was okay. The smoke started to go away, and Universes 7 and 0 were surprised. Majin Buu was only a few feet away from Broly and was still standing, but the attack did a lot of damage to him. Gohan was shocked. "I can't believe he's still standing." Buu moved a few steps toward the Saiyan, who didn't look the least bit tired. After the fifth step, Buu fell down and hit his head. This surprised Universe 7. Broly's aura was gone, and his body and eyes were back to normal. The Saiyan sighed and looked up at Naruto. Naruto smiled and gave him a thumbs up. Zeno yelled, "Oh, that was fun." He gives a small nod. Zeno-sama has said what he wanted to say. The fight was over when a gong rang out. The first game has come to an end. The winner is from Universe 0, Broly. The priest yelled. Broly flew back to his group, where Naruto gave him a pat on the back. "Great job, Broly. You've improved a lot since we trained together. I'm surprised you were able to copy my Rasengan and Biju Bomb." Broly showed his thanks with a small smile. Universe 7 looked at Naruto's group while all of this was going on. "It looks like Universe 0's fighters are giving it their all." Shin said this out of worry. "No kidding, my grandfather is also fighting, and my dad says he's not an easy target." Gohan said as he looked over and saw his father giving a senzu bean to both Buu and Mr. Satan, who soon woke up. Buu looked down and told Satan he was sorry for losing, but the Earth hero told him it didn't matter and that he was still proud of him. This made the pink fighter cheer. Universe 0 was said to have the most potential to be the strongest of the 12 universes because it had 2 Saiyan races, but both of them were wiped out in a civil war and it was never heard of again. Now that both of them are back, this will be even harder to figure out, especially with the Tournament of Power. Elder Kai said. "It looks like Naruto-sama has picked a pretty good group of fighters." Whis said something. Beerus didn't say anything as he looked at his old pupil. That was a great show of strength from Universe 0's warrior. "I'm curious to see what their second fighter can do." Hellas said, "I'm interested." My warriors could take care of those two in a flash." Kitara told everyone about the yellow mouse, the god of Universe 4. "I don't think so." Iraq's eyes rolled. "We'll see what these second warriors can do, no matter what." Jin, the god of destruction of the 12th universe, said. "Now it's time for the second game. Please enter the fighting stage, warriors." The Grand Priest made an announcement and snapped his fingers, and the whole arena was set up. Goku's oldest son jumped down onto the arena, which Naruto saw. He looked over at Bardock and saw that he wasn't there. He then looked back down at the arena and saw that the Saiyan was already there. "It looks like someone is really ready to get going. Looks like Dad is going to fight." He said this with a smile. "I can't wait to see how much stronger he is. This might actually give Gohan more drive." So, it looks like Naruto-sama used the Dragon Balls to recruit Goku's father and, probably, his mother as well. Whis gave praise. "Let's see if this Bardock has as much power as his son." Beerus told us. Bardock looked to his right and saw the warrior of Universe 9. He was also a wolf fighter, but his fur was tan and he wore green pants with suspenders. When he looked to his left, he saw his grandson, who seemed to be judging both him and his opponent. As they walked in the middle a few feet apart and looked at each other, the three started to get closer. As the two Saiyans got ready to fight, there was silence. The crazy-looking wolf stood there with a small laugh. Bardock looked at Gohan and made a face that said, "Show me what you have." The mix-up Saiyan knew that his grandfather wanted the best for him, so he's going to give it to him. "I won't give up so quickly." "That's it." Then the Grand Priest started. The three of them ran quickly toward each other, and Bardock hit his grandson in the face with a fast kick that sent him flying across the arena. He quickly turned around and attacked with punches and kicks, which Lavender was able to match as each attack led to the next. Gohan came back, split the two of them apart, and attacked Bardock. Bardock was able to avoid each attack, which were a sloppy right, a kick, and then an uppercut. The experienced Saiyan gave Gohan a hard knee to the stomach, which knocked him out of breath. Gohan spat out saliva and fell to his knees, holding his stomach. When he turned around, he saw the wolf warrior jump at him from close range. He slammed his elbow into the wolf's throat, sending it flying back. The wolf landed on his knees and glared at him. "Come on, if that's all you've got, I'm really upset." Bardock told Lavender, who barked and looked at his grandson. "And you, I told you to show me what you've got, but so far I'm not impressed. My son told me that you saved the Earth twice and had reached a level of power that was stronger than his, but where is it?" shouted Bardock. Gohan cringes inside at this. "You're a loser." Bardock got mad. Gohan couldn't hide the way he jerked, and his confidence fell very low. Goku was hurt by his father's harsh words, but he understood what he was trying to do. "I'll show you disappointment," yelled Lavender as he charged and attacked with fury, but Bardock blocked each one. A right punch to the gut stunned the wolf, and a roundhouse sent him rolling across the arena. Gohan saw what happened and clenched his fist. Has he really gotten so weak that he can't even hit his opponents, let alone his grandfather? Bardock was right, he was weak. He wasn't the same person who beat Cell, Bojack, and almost Majin Buu. "If I don't get better, I'll disappoint everyone. Mom. Dad. Goten. Piccolo. Vidal. Pan." The last thing he could take was the thought of losing his daughter and her bright smile. He became a Super Saiyan, but he knew he had to go further because of how strong he was when he fought Majin Buu. Last minute. Lavender stood up and decided to stop wasting time. He put his hands up and exhaled a purple mist that covered them. He gave a happy laugh and then charged at Bardock, who was now avoiding the attacks. When he got a hold of Lavender's arms, the wolf grinned and sprayed purple mist into Bardock's eyes. Bardock yelled in pain and gave Lavender a hard front kick to the chest, sending the wolf flying across the room, but he got his balance back. Bardock rubbed his eyes, but whatever was sprayed in them won't come off. Ro found this funny. "How do you like Lavender's poison? If I were you, Universe Zero, I would give up unless you want your warrior to die." Before Lavender went on, he felt a huge amount of power and saw Gohan in Super Saiyan mode, but he kept getting more power. Before Lavender could attack, Bardock gave him a dropkick that sent him flying. Gohan kept looking deep inside himself even though his energy was getting much stronger and his hair was going back and forth between blonde and black. Shin, Goku, and the Elder Kai were the only ones who knew about this power. Well, it looks like Gohan might be able to use his real power, and if he can, he might win this battle. What did Elder Kai say? "I think he can do it. I have faith in him," Goku said in a sure way. Gohan kept getting stronger as the color of his aura changed back and forth between white and gold. After a few seconds, he opened his eyes, which were shining with light. Bright energy blinded everyone in the arena, and a white pillar of energy rose up. Zeno was so shocked by this that his eyes were filled with stars. Lavender kicked Bardock away, making him fall backwards, but he caught himself. When the light went out, the wolf warrior turned to look at his other opponent. Gohan was standing with a light-colored energy around him. His hair was the same as a Super Saiyan, but it was still black, and his face was hardened, just like when he went Super. Even though Bardock couldn't see, he could feel that Gohan's energy was much stronger than it had been before. He gave a small smile because this was exactly what he wanted. This made Lavender laugh. "You think that will stop me?" The warrior said this, then rushed at Gohan quickly and jumped. Lavender was about to use his poison attack when he was kicked hard in the chin. When he got back up on his feet, he rubbed the wound and growled. "All done." Lavender flew up high and shot fast purple ki at the Saiyan, but he was able to avoid all of them with ease. He flew at the beast warrior while dodging, then disappeared and appeared in front of Lavender. Lavender was surprised and got hit with a lot of punches. Why is Lavender losing? Ro asked with anger. Bergamo did not say anything as he kept looking at the fight. It looks like Bardock got what he wanted, and I have to say it's impressive. Naruto said something. Kaguya said, but we will have to see if it can go up against Bardock's new power. He said it with a smile. It might have to come down to that. This young man's energy shows how much potential he has. Hagora said. Gohan gave Lavender a kick that turned like a corkscrew and made her fall hard. He put his arms behind his back, and a bright blue ball of energy appeared. Kamehameha. He shouted as he thrust the key attack at the warrior who had already fired his own attack. When the signature attacks collided, it seemed like Lavender had the upper hand, but to Universe 9's dismay, the Saiyan's attack won. Lavender put as much energy as he could into the attack, but it didn't help. He screamed as the attack ate him up and blew him up. When the smoke cleared, there was a hole where Lavender had been knocked out. Not Lavender. Ro was stunned. Wow. Zeno couldn't believe what he saw. I'm surprised, but it looks like the kid still has it. He's not as strong as he used to be, but that could change with practice. He said, Elder Kai. I told you I knew he could do it. Goku smiled. He hasn't done everything yet. Whis told the Saiyan, and the Saiyan stopped laughing and looked serious because he knew it was his father. Gohan landed a few feet away from Bardock. They stood there in silence for 30 seconds before Bardock laughed. This is exactly what I wanted from you, a real warrior battle. Now it's time for me to show you my new power, and it's not my Super Saiyan. He said something, which made the half Saiyan raise an eyebrow. Universe 7 was confused, and so was Goku. Naruto said, here it comes.
So that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel for more awesome stories like this. Thank you. See you all in my next video.